Hello, everyone. Once again, welcome to Pathfinders for Autism Zoomcast. I'm your host, Rob Long. And joining me this time is Melissa Ward. She's the founder of Augmenting Ability. How are you this afternoon, Melissa?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Before we get to exactly what you do, how did you come about that name of Augmenting Ability?
Well, thank you for asking that, because I don't think a lot of people understand our name. But when you talk about an augmented chord in music, we're talking about raising one step of the scale in the chord. So it kind of has a musical meaning, raising ability or increasing ability, with kind of that musical reference as well, since we do music therapy.
Now, music therapy is what you all do, and which I said before, music is my therapy, but differently, I'm sure, than what you all do. So what exactly is music therapy?
So our national association, the American Music Therapy Association, defines music therapy as the clinical and evidence-based use of music interventions to accomplish individualized goals within a therapeutic relationship by a credentialed professional who has completed an approved music therapy program. So what I tell a lot of families that are new to music therapy is that if they think of other related services that they're familiar with, like OT and speech, we're similar in that we're working on non-music goals, but we're addressing it through music. So an occupational therapist might use a craft to address a fine motor skill, where we might use playing an instrument to address that fine motor skill. Speech therapists may use a game to teach first and then concepts, where we might teach it through a song and rehearse it through a song. So we're really using music as our tool or our medium to teach and then rehearse non-music skills.
Now, for me, Melissa, I do sports talk radio, but I don't appreciate every sport. Right. I appreciate every genre of music. I think it's the international language. I got to think you have the same passion and love for music.
Yeah, and like you said, not everybody appreciates the same genre. So we take that into account as well with the clients that we work with. What is their preferred music? Because that's what's going to reach them. Classical music might be calming for one person, but it might really agitate someone else. So really honing in on what is their preferred music and how can we use that to teach these non-music skills and rehearse those non-music skills.
Now, what are the benefits of music therapy?
So most of the clients that we work with, we're looking at social, emotional, behavioral, cognitive, communication skills, fine and gross motor skills, quality of life. But our interventions can be designed to treat so many different things: promote wellness, manage pain, manage stress, express feelings both verbally and non-verbally, enhancing memory, working on those time-ordered and reality-ordered behaviors, improving communication, and promoting physical rehabilitation, and also habilitative services too.
I'm be honest with you, one of the more fascinating topics we've done. We've done some pretty good topics on the Zoomcast. What kind of educational background do you need to get into music therapy?
So music therapist, you'll see MTBC after our name a lot of times, and that stands for Music Therapist Board Certified. So you have to go to an accredited program, and it's a mix of a lot of music courses, biology courses, psychology courses, and how to use music therapeutically to address a non-music need. So there is a degree. Following your degree, you have to complete about 1,100 to 1,200 hour internship. And then following that, you're finally eligible to sit for the board exam. So in Maryland, there is not currently a state licensure, but in some other states, they are moving towards licensure, and we are hoping to do so in Maryland as well. But it hasn't quite come to fruition yet, but hopefully soon.
So based on what you're telling me, there's a difference between the music teacher and a music therapist?
So a music teacher is specifically wanting to teach an individual how to play an instrument or about music theory, about music history. And though we do some of that, we do adapted music lessons and things too, our main focus is those non-music goals. So for some of our younger kiddos, it might be things like eye contact and appropriate social interactions when someone says hello, and we'll rehearse that through a hello song. We had talked a little bit about fine and gross motor. So some individuals have a harder time holding smaller objects, and we might work on a pincer grasp and play an auto harp to address that need. Where the music educator is looking at, do you know your music alphabet? Do you know what quarter notes and half notes and things like that are? And they're more focused on the music learning part, and we're focused on using music to learn other skills.
Melissa, can you take me through a typical music therapy session, or maybe there is no typical music therapy session?
It depends a lot on the client that we're working with. Everything is very individualized. A lot of our clients that have an autism spectrum diagnosis, the session is very structured, and we always start with the same opening song and with the same closing song to help with that transition. And then depending on what their goals are, we tailor our music experiences throughout the session to address those needs. It might be dancing or moving to music, it might be singing, it might be instrument playing. We use a lot of rhythm instruments where you don't really have to have a music ed background to be successful. We use even songwriting, sometimes in its simplest form of just fill in the blank. We might rewrite a new song to address a need of a client. So I also usually, before I do a closing song, some type of relaxation, whether it's, stretching or deep breathing to music, to kind of wind down and prepare, to transition out of the session.
So with music therapy, is it done individually or as a group?
It can be done either way. So we do see individuals and we do see groups. I will say a lot of our groups at Augmenting Ability are social skills based. So the individuals in the group are around the same age and have similar needs and similar strengths so that they can be successful together. But yeah, we can see them either way, individually and in groups.
Is there one that's more popular than the other?
I think it depends on the needs of that particular person.
Okay. Are there things that people can do at home as far as music therapy is concerned?
Well, music therapy, of course, should be provided by a board certified music therapist, but a lot of times we do provide consult for schools, whether a student has it on the IEP and we're providing consult, or parents want to know how to use music at home. So there are some things. So like you said, music is your therapy. It can be very relaxing just to passively listen to your preferred music, or even engage in some type of music making at home. For a lot of parents, I tell them, use music to your advantage. So we all learn through music. A lot of people will still say their ABCs by singing them because that's how they learn them. I
still do.
I can't say the 50 states without singing the song. So use that to your advantage to teach skills. If you want to teach colors or something, use a song. But also, so many of our kids on the spectrum have problems with transitions. So use those songs, whether you rewrite it or of a song, to help those transitions go a little smoother. I have an early childhood class that I teach that's not necessarily music therapy, but I always tell them, rewrite the tune, you want to get them to get their shoes on and get out the door, and see how much it helps. So many parents are familiar with the cleanup song that so many daycares and schools use, and that can help with transitions too. Another big thing is lullabies, and there are age-appropriate lullabies for every age out there. It might not be your typical hush-a-bye lullaby, but having that wind down time right before bedtime. Music does affect our physiological responses, our heart rate, our breath rate, and can help us calm down. So using lullabies at the end of the day as part of your routine to wind down before bedtime can be another way families can use music at home to kind of better help them get through the day.
Now, Melissa, with music therapy, because I see behind you there's a piano, and in some of our slides I see a young man playing a piano. So is it playing music, listening to music, or a combination of it all?
All of the above. So we may actively engage in music making. It might be the piano, it might be a drum, it might be shakers, depending. We can move to music, we can listen to music, we can make art to music. There are so many possibilities of how to use it as a therapeutic medium. We do teach a lot of adaptive music lessons, which I mentioned, and the students there are still addressing things like attention span, fine motor skills. Some of our students play by ear, and some learn to read to traditional music notation as well. So, but all music therapists are proficient on piano, voice, and guitar. So those are the main instruments that we use within sessions, along with a lot of drums and percussion instruments too.
Listen, your organization, Augmenting Ability, provides a tremendous service for people on the spectrum. There are other organizations out there as well. How does an organization like Pathfinders for Autism benefit the autism community?
Pathfinders has been amazing. In the time that I have been involved with individuals who have autism and with augmenting ability and other organizations out there, I think Pathfinders does an amazing job not only educating families, being a resource for families to go to with their database, but all of the training that they do for our first responders and stuff. It is a major blessing to Maryland and the community.
I agree with you. They've been tremendous, and so have you. Melissa Ward, founder of Augmenting Ability. Melissa, thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you, Rob.